Simpson continued his negotiations with the old Chinese gentleman. He unlatched the briefcase and opened it, taking out a large brown envelope and putting it aside. Then he removed a small felt bag and placed it on the table before him. Untying the drawstring, he opened it and withdrew 2 taels of gold. "It's all here," he said. $50,000 in taels, just as you instructed. He offered it to the old man. "Count them, please," he said. The old man said nothing and did not touch the bag. He motioned to the girl, who reached over, replaced the gold taels in the bag, and then hefted it in one hand, as if it were a piece of fish from the market. Satisfied, she nodded at the old man. "The nail cuttings are not vital. It would have been better if you had got them, but we will make do with the hair," the old Chinese gentleman said in perfect but accented English. Simpson had collected the hair over the last few weeks from the headrest of Alan Chan's office chair, 1 or 2 at a time. One he had even taken from his wife's coat while it was hanging in her wardrobe. He did not want to think of how it had got there. The thought of Alan holding his wife, embracing and caressing her, made his blood boil. When he had first discovered that his assistant manager was having an affair with his wife, his initial reaction had been disbelief, then rage, cold-blooded, murderous rage. And for a long time he had sunk into a fantasy world where he saw Alan, this man he had taken in off the streets as a trainee, one of the 1,000 newly qualified accountants, torn limb from limb. For the first few weeks, while he had them followed to make sure of his facts, he had lived through a kind of hell. The question foremost in his mind was how Alan could have done this to him. He had trained the man, helped him financially to complete his exams, and then to have him turn on this was too much to bear. It never once entered Simpson's mind that Amanda, bored and tired of her role as the dutiful housewife, might have been the instigator. So he had found this old man, this old sorcerer. It had taken him months and thousands of dollars, spent on occultists, both fake and genuine. And just over 3 weeks ago he had come to him for the first time to strike a deal. $50,000 in gold taels, some hair, a photo, and a personal item belonging to Alan, in return for the most hideous death imaginable. Simpson was adamant about this point. He wanted Alan Chan to suffer as much as possible. He was unsure as to what had hurt him the most, the betrayal of his trust, or the fact that this betrayal had led to the taking of his wife. Simpson realized that the room had gone silent. He had been lost in thought, the hatred burning in his stomach like sour indigestion. Then he realized the old man was waiting for him to say something. But as far as Simpson was concerned, the deal had been struck and the fee paid. It now fell to the old man to carry out his client's wishes. He understood that he would not witness whatever rites the old man was to perform. Coming to his senses, he pushed the brown paper envelope towards him. "Is this sufficient?" he asked, almost afraid that he would be told that there was not enough hair, or the gold pen, Alan's most prized possession, would not be suitable, or that the photograph, one of him and Alan taken together in the office, would be too small. The old man opened the envelope and removed the contents. Simpson noticed that despite the man's age, his hands were absolutely steady. The old man ran his fingers through the few strands of hair and picked up the pen. Then he carefully placed them aside and picked up the photograph. He looked at it for a full minute in silence. Then he replaced everything back in the envelope and told Simpson that it was all suitable. He spread his hands out on the table to indicate that their business was concluded. But Simpson still had a question. Please, he tried to say. In his excitement, his throat constricted, and the word came out in a harsh croak. He cleared his voice and tried again. What will happen? He asked. How will it happen?